Hi Year 6 and welcome to Monday's lesson. Today we're going to start our new book, Holes. Before we read chapters 1 to 5, we're going to look at these two front covers, because these are both front covers of what holes have been, and what do they suggest about what this book could be about. Think about what you can see and what it could mean. Pause the video, write your answer, and then read chapters 1 to 5. Now 1 to 4 is on one video and 5 is on the next. Only read up to the end of chapter 5, then come back, unpause, ready for the rest of the lesson. Welcome back. So now you've read chapters 1 to 5 and we know a bit about what is happening. So we know that Stanley's gone to Camp Greenlake. It was either Camp Greenlake or prison. He's been convicted of a crime that he's innocent of, that we think so far. And he's arrived at Camp Greenlake and met Mr Sir and Mr Pendanski and all the other boys. So, our first question is choose 3 words to describe Stanley and explain why you have chose these using evidence from the text. So, for an example, here's an extract from the text. Now Stanley tried to pretend he was going to camp fun and games. Maybe he'd make some friends, he thought. At least he'd get to swim in the lake. So, what we know here is saying maybe he'd make some friends. So, from that, I infer that he doesn't have many friends at school. And I know that also in the text, it also says that he is called names by people at school because he's overweight. So what word could we use to describe that? Maybe you could think lonely. So you'd write, one word to describe Stanley is lonely. I think this because it says in the text, maybe he'd make some friends, which suggests to me he hasn't got any friends, so this is why he could be lonely. Point, evidence and explanation. Make sure you write this question in your literacy book, not on the sheet. Pause the video, answer the question, and then come back and join us. Great, so now you've chose your 3 words and you've found evidence to explain them. Couple more examples here is a box of stationery his mother had given him. He'd promised to write to her at least once a week, so he's made a promise. So that could suggest he's loyal, he's faithful. So there's some words you could have used. He's close to his family. He's good-hearted, so he's promised to write to her. So I wonder what other evidence you found and what words you chose. Next question then. Why does Camp Greenlake not have or need a fence? So you can retrieve this answer from the text. So pause the video, go and find the answer, and then come back and unpause for the reveal. Great, so did you find the extract? You should have found this one. Nobody runs away from here. We don't need a fence. Know why? Because we've got the only water for 100 miles. You want to run away? You'll be buzzard food in 3 days. So Camp Greenlake does not need a fence because they are the only place with water. So if you do run away, you'll die. Okay, this next question then is your opinion. Why do you think the boys have nicknames? Would you like to be given a nickname like theirs? Explain your answer. So why do you think the boys have been given each other nicknames like Bath Bag and Zero, X-Ray? And do they like them? And would you like to be given a nickname like theirs? Explain in your answer. Pause the video and unpause when you're ready to join the rest of the lesson. Okay. So I wonder what you put to why do the boys have nicknames? I think the boys have got nicknames because it makes them feel more like a family. They don't want to use the real names and they give each other nicknames so they feel close to each other. What did you think? I would not like to have a nickname like theirs, I don't think, because Bath Bag is not really a very nice nickname. However, it must have been given to him for a reason and he must have liked it if he let them call it him. Let's go on to the next question. This one's also about nicknames and it's the nickname of Mr Pendanski because the boys call him Mum. Why do you think they call him Mum and what does this tell us about his character? Have a think and then come back and join us for the answer. Okay, so it does say that they call him Mum because he's got a warm heart in the text, so you could have put that. What does it tell us about his character? Well, to call someone Mum is someone you love, isn't it? So I think it tells us that he's a nice guy. He gets on with the kids well. and they feel close to him, and that's why they call him Mum. Did you think that too? So this is your solo task for today. Using what we've read so far, I want you to draw a picture of what you think Camp Green Lake looks like. Be as accurate as you can. So we've got a couple of extracts here to show you how I would start. So imagine that this is the lake. It says here, the only trees are 2 old oaks on the eastern edge of the lake. So we've got a compass here. So east is here. And we need 2 large trees. So I'm going to get my pencil or crayons. And I'm going to, in fact, I'm going to rub that out because that's really not the eastern edge. That's more northeast. Eastern edge. So east is here. And it says, the only trees are 2 old oaks, a hammock is stretched between the 2 trees and a log cabin stands behind. So here's the edge of the lake. I'm going to draw 2 trees. Your drawings will be much better than this, won't they? Let's have a look. Do that one. Oh, make it green. 2 oak trees. Then, don't know, let's have a grey hammock. Across. And then it says behind that is a log cabin. So I'm going to draw my log cabin behind. Okay, let's have a look at this second extract and see if we can add anything else to it. The land was barren and desolate, so that means it was empty and not looked after. He could see a few rundown buildings and some tents. Farther away, there was a cabin beneath 2 tall trees. So we've drawn that, the 2 tall trees. So in front of that then, we need some rundown buildings and some tents. So I'm going to draw them about here. Now, I know from earlier, well, from later on in the text, when I think it's chapter 5, it says the tents are A, B, C, D, E, and F. So there's 6 tents. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so there are the tents. And it says a few rundown buildings. So we could have a building here. I'll have a building here. Maybe one little one here. And in the text it will tell you, because there's a wash building, isn't there? So you can see where you can look at more evidence from the text and see whereabouts those buildings might be. Is there anything else that you could put on it? Because obviously there's going to be some holes somewhere on this lake. We might be able to add to this as we read more of the story. Can't wait to see your drawings. Make sure you put some effort into it and some creativity. And make sure you use evidence from the text. You can, as a challenge, label your drawing as well. So here we could label it with 2 trees on the eastern edge of the lake, just to show your understanding of the text. Okay guys, I'll see you tomorrow for Tuesday's reading lesson. Bye.